Okay, this is a Honda GXV 630 twin cylinder engine. It's on a Cub Cadet 0 turn, but the case is that sometimes it'll start, sometimes it doesn't. And when you take and stick a screwdriver across these bolts right back here on the solenoid, you can get it to turn over sometimes and start up. And so we think that it's going to need a starter replacement. The solenoid is part of the starter. So first we want to do is take this screws out right here. It's a 10 millimeter, one here, and then you got one on the back side and one on the other side. So let me go ahead and get that done. Then next it's going to be these two Phillips heads screws, one here and one right here. Let me go ahead and remove them. Okay, now with the two Phillips head screws out and all four 10 millimeter bolts out, then you just want to kind of wiggle it up, okay, and then pull it straight up, off like that. And so now we can see in here, next thing we're going to have to do is remove this side cover right here. And I'm going to start out with two 10 millimeter bolts, you can see right there. And then we'll go from there. Okay, there was one more 10 millimeter bolt right here, and then there was another one way up under here. I can't really get the camera onto it. Let's see. Yeah, but it was way up under there. And you can feel it with your hand, just kind of knock it loose. It holds the plastic cover. Now there was some wires here I had to disconnect. Sorry, I said I recorded that one, but these wires right here and right here, there should be two black ones, two gray ones. You can just disconnect them, and they'll plug right back into the grays and the blacks. Okay, and then now we remove that so we could get a better look in here, because we had to remove this bolt right here. And it comes out down there, and let's remove this one right here. So that way we can remove this starter, and it'll move down, it'll pull straight down. Let's remove them out. Next we're going to unhook the wires here. They're right up in here. If you find focus on it right there. We'll unhook that wire. Alright, next we're going to go after these bolts that's up in here. The ones that come out right there on the other side. What's going to be is a 14 millimeter, and we're going to take an extension with a swivel in the back, just like this, and we're going to stick it up in there from the bottom, and like so. You can see it right there, and you got to watch out for that wire. Okay, first we're going to unhook this battery. And we're just going to take and unhook this positive side or the negative side, it doesn't matter. That's going to be a 10 millimeter. There's actually 11 millimeter on this side, 10 on this side. Once you get done, just put the bolt right back in the battery. Take the ground, make sure the ground's out the way. Now we get back over here and get these bolts out for the starter. Right now that we got both of these bolts out, this one and this one. We got it from the bottom right there. It's 14 millimeter, this size. Now they're both out, we're just going to kind of wiggle the starter out. And it's going to be a pain in the butt. I'm going to get a hammer, hit it a couple times, and knock it out of there. And here we go, she's out. That's what it looks like when it's out. Here it is. See, it's all rusted up. It's in bad shape. So, let's see what we can do here. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to get inside here, because there's a thing in there called a commutator where the brushes transfer electricity to the inner coil, and sometimes it'll get clogged up with a lot of dust from the wear and tear of the brushes. So we need to remove this cap so we can get in there and clean it off. So in order to do that, it's going to be 8 millimeter. I'm going to take these two bolts out and we'll see what happens there. Okay, so you may have to tap these ears, okay, take a hammer or something and just tap right here on the bottom of there a couple times. Knock this loose. Now you can see how dirty it is in there. Excuse me. And this is going to be your brushes right here. And this is going to be your commutator, this thing in here. You see the little plates in there. And so the dust will get in between them plates, and then it'll ground out all the way around. And then it won't properly transfer electric to each coil, which is down inside of here. Okay, and so next thing you want to do is pop this plate off. And so we're looking in here to see the dirt, and you can see the brushes. Here's each brush. One brush, 2, 3. You see the dirt in there. Look at that corrosion. 4. It's not very clean. You see. So I think we found the problem. So since we got a little bit of meat left on these brushes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it apart and let me get in there and clean out in between them plates. Now what I'm going to do is change up my way here. I'm going to go ahead and take all 4 of these out. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to stick the screwdriver up through here like this. Put it up there like that. And what I'm going to do is just pull that brush out. Just like so. I got the brush out. And then I pull the spring out. I'm going to do that to all 4. Alright, so I took a wire brush and I cleaned all these plates. Got in between every one of them. All the dust out so they're not grinding out to each other. And now I'm going to attempt to put it back together and see if I can save these brushes. Okay, we got every one of the little springs, the little brushes back in there. And how I did that is I put the brush in place first, and then I compressed the spring and slide it down in there. Each one. Now I'm going to take this, put this plate back in place. What was that? Just like so. Next, we're going to put this cap back on, and then put the bolts back in it. And then what we're going to do is reassemble it, put it back on the mower. And that should work a lot better than it did. Alright.